Thinking about coming to Miami, Florida? Well, I'll tell you one thing. I will never move there. I've been living here in Florida all of my life, a very long time. And I will never move to Miami. I have 7 reasons why. Hi, I'm Tonya Brewton. I'm a real estate agent here in South Florida with Signature International Real Estate. So, I've lived here for, my goodness, all my life, okay? And that's been over 40 years now. Yeah, over 40 years. Can you believe it? I've traveled to many cities here in Florida, from Palm Beach all the way to Miami-Dade. And I will tell you that just because people say, move to Florida, doesn't mean all of Florida, every city is exactly the same. We have some parts of Florida that are more country, so you won't see much city life activity there, and more, and then there are other parts of Florida that are a little bit more on the city side, or more of the beach side, or beach living, if you will. And I can say that out of all my travels in Florida, Western Broward County I've narrowed down, and even Western Palm Beach, are the areas that I really like to live. To me, they seem a little bit more laid back. They're not so fast, etc. And many people, and I know some people who have moved to Miami, Florida, and were so dissatisfied and thought that, oh my goodness, all of Florida must be just like this. I'm leaving. Well, I'm here to tell you that's not true. Miami is not representative of all of Florida, not even South Florida. Speaking as a native Floridian myself, and yes, I am a real Floridian, 100% certified. I have been here for over 40 years. I can tell you that Miami, Florida is a city that I personally will never live. It doesn't meet my expectations of what I want in my life. I have 7 really good reasons why. Number 7, Miami, I have found, is far too city. It has far too much of the city life. You will find very huge, tall buildings, skyscrapers. There won't be that many parks. It does have parks for you to go to, and it does have a few places that I guess you would consider country, but if you are looking for something that is not similar to, like, I guess you would say, like New York City with that kind of, concrete jungle lifestyle, then Miami is not the city for you, okay? That's all you will see. There are houses there, and they do have front yards and backyards, but depending on where you go, most of the housing, especially the newer housing, are mostly townhomes, or they're condos, or they're luxury apartments, or the newest thing is called Condotels, condo hotel. So it's a combination of a condo and a hotel. That's what we're doing, or that's what the people in Miami are doing now. So if you don't want that lifestyle, and you want, the traditional home with a front yard and a backyard, then, you might want to really take a look at maybe some other places. And Miami is going to give you that very, New Yorkish kind of, with a Latin flair kind of lifestyle, okay? So that may not be for you. Number 6, the housing in Miami is way too darn expensive. It's too high. Because you're in Miami, and this is what a lot of people don't realize, a lot of people move to Miami with the expectation of going to the beach. Oh, I've got to be near the beach. Oh, it's going to be so close to the beach. And yeah, you will be near the beach. you'll be so darn close. You can pretty much put a toe in from where your living room is, okay? However, in order to be close to the beach, you have to pay to be on the beach, okay? Which means the prices for anyone living near the beach, or even Miami for that matter, because it is so close to the coastline, is going to be much higher than it is inland. So that's the way normally a lot of our prices work down here. The closer you are to the beach, the higher the price. I don't have the budget for that at this time. And you know, most of the people who do live on the beach are people who, you know, have that kind of budget. So you will find more celebrities near the beach because they can afford it. You'll find people who have their own, you know, businesses for a very long time. You know, multi-million-dollar businesses will live there. So those are the type of people that you'll find on the beach. Of course, we do have vacation homes there. You do have those kinds of things, but you know, as far in between for people who have millions of dollars, and when I say millions of dollars, I do mean millions of dollars, who live in Miami. Now, don't think that Miami only has, especially like South Beach or Aventura, that all they have are $1-million houses. They don't. They have housing and other places where you can live close to the beach that are under that, but you get what you pay for. So if you find a place in Aventura or on Miami Beach and it's a home and it's only $150,000, don't expect it to look like the Luxor Hotel or something. Don't expect it to look like some luxury home, okay? You get what you pay for. Expect it to be a fixer-upper and or a tear-downer fixer-upper, one of those. You tear it down and pretty much rebuilding it from scratch. So you might want to rethink that and rethink your choices if you know you're looking into Miami, because the housing prices, they are a bit up there. Number 5, I don't like the very fast lifestyle in downtown Miami. And again, this is downtown Miami I am speaking about, not necessarily all of Miami, because Miami has Miami Beach, you have South Beach, you have Aventura. There are so many cities in Miami-Dade County. There are a lot, and each one is a little differently, but they all do have one thing in common, that they all share kind of a city-ish lifestyle, that concrete jungle feel, if you will, and they are all close to the beach, just minutes away, and I do mean minutes away from the beach. But if you want that beach feeling without having to be involved with, all the hustle and bustle of rubbing elbows and all that kind of stuff, that fast lifestyle where, you're constantly in a rush. If you're moving to Miami and your job is going to be in Miami, get ready, because it's going to be a very, fast-paced lifestyle, okay? So if that's not what you're into, then you might want to rethink things. Number 4. Space, space, space. Space is a problem. It's very much a problem. And when I say space, I'm not talking about just the size of the home. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is the space in between some of the houses. And I don't think a lot of people really discuss this, but a lot of times when you're buying a home, especially some of these new construction homes, the space in between them is so narrow. You could just pretty much reach out like this and touch your neighbor. you don't, a lot of people, especially me, this is why I will never move to Miami or any place where, the houses are that close. But you are going to find that in a lot of the cities that are, kind of congested, I will say it that way, the houses are pretty close together, okay? And if you don't want to be that close to your neighbors, you might want to keep your search, keep going with your search. Miami has a tendency, not only to be congested, and that's, number 3 on my list. That's number 3 on my list. But that congestion also means that, the space in between who you're living next to is quite tight. So, get ready to, walk past a window in your home and, see your neighbor walk by in their birthday suit maybe, or hear what your neighbors are doing, hear them watching a game and having friends over and partying, etc. The homes are quite close. Now, not all of them, but in the more city parts of Miami, yeah, they're updated. And I don't like that. I love my space. I like wide open spaces. I like having to take binoculars and having to look to see my neighbors. That's me, okay? So if you're like me, there are more cities and other counties here in Florida that you might want to consider. And like I said, number 3, congestion. Congestion, traffic congestion, okay? That, you'll hear more people talk about that than anything else. I stopped listening to the radio just because of that. All the time, I would always hear, oh, there's a traffic jam on I-95 going north, or there's a backlog on the Palmetto Expressway. Really? And it wouldn't be just, a few cars. Oh, God, no. It's piled all the way up until the very next exit. So you have several exits full of traffic congestion and cars, okay? And, all of that just kind of adds up, and you start to get a little PTSD almost, I would say, with it. It really wrecks your nerves having to deal with traffic all the time. Traffic is huge, and especially in that weather, sitting in there. I mean, even if your car is air conditioned, that's great, but the sun beams down on you through your windows while you're waiting in your car. And I've sat in my car sometimes in these traffic jams for, I think the longest I sat was for like 40 minutes. 40 minutes in traffic, because it wasn't just traffic. Somebody, of course, had an accident, which caused everyone else to have to back up in the middle of rush hour in the morning. And I've had my AC on full blast, and I still got a little tan on my arm. So just be prepared that, depending on where you live, well, I can't just even say where you live, but that's pretty much all of South Florida. We have a lot of traffic jams down here, a lot of traffic. And they're constantly, I don't know what this is, but they're constantly working on the roads. Since I was a little kid, since I was in high school, they were still working on all the roads. What is that all about? Anyway, my point is, traffic congestion is definitely a problem, but it's a problem in many states. But if you think that it won't be that much of a problem here, think again. Number 2. Now, I was really wrestling with this because I didn't know if I wanted to put this as number 2 or number 1. But they kind of go hand in hand. So number 2 is hurricanes. Now, I know what you're thinking, stop. Hurricanes affects the entire state of Florida. Yes, that is true. However, if you live in Miami, you're a little closer to the storm. Don't forget, hurricanes come off of the water. And if you live near the water, guess who's going to get hit first by the hurricane? That's right, you. You will. Anyone who lives near the beach, and the places that are close to the beach are Miami. Yes, Miami. Which is why I will never live near Miami, because I don't want to have to evacuate. And that's the thing too, you have to realize. Those who live on the beach, and I don't know how many people are aware of this, but anyone who lives on the beach or very, very close to the beach, they're the first ones who have to be evacuated, because you're in a very high tide, flood, disaster area zone. Danger, danger, Will Robinson, danger. Don't go. Do not pass go. Red, red. If you're sitting or you're living near the beach, that tide, when it comes in from the hurricane, it will cover you. It's covered, oh my goodness, 3, 4, 5, 6 stories of buildings, depending on, how bad the hurricane is. So you don't want to be there when that hurricane is coming and then just to have to be evacuated. If you live inland, a lot of times, I would say a good 80% of the time, especially if you live very further inland, like in the western part of Broward County, which is far away from Miami, or on the eastern side of South Florida, further away from the beach, we don't really get evacuated, okay, on that end. And that's the reason why, because we're not near the beach. But if you are near the beach, you'll be subject to floods, riptides, the tide coming in and covering and washing over you, your home, etc. It's a very, very dangerous area to be in. So you need to be aware of that, and definitely consider, if you still are thinking about buying a home in Miami, that's someplace that you need to consider, and it will come with warnings and say, hey, you're in a flood zone, oh, you're the first one that has to be evacuated. And they'll tell you, if you're living in the HOA or wherever you are, you'll be told, oh, hey, you're in an hurricane evacuation zone. So, if a hurricane comes, you'll have to leave. Yeah, don't know where, but you'll have to leave. Yeah. And now, number 1. So, the number 1 reason that I refuse to live, and I will never, ever, 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 ever live in Miami, is the temperature, the humidity. Believe it or not, I know it sounds crazy, but because there are less trees over there, because there is less vegetation in Miami, and you are so close to the beach, the temperatures in Miami are hotter than they are in other parts of Florida. So this has to do with a whole ecosystem. And if you watch anything about how clouds are formed and how rain comes to be, clouds come from moisture from the earth. Well, if there's no moisture in the earth, how's a cloud going to form? Okay, this is like science 101, etc. But because you have more concrete buildings out there and less parks, less area for there to be trees and bushes and grass and stuff like that, the weather tends to get hotter. So there have been times where it's been like where I live, close to Tamarac, Florida, it's been like 85 degrees. And I'll look at the weather. I definitely won't go there, but I'll look at the weather channel or I'll look at the weather and it'll say, hey, temperatures in Miami are at like 92 degrees or 93 degrees. I'm like, whew. I mean, I've even had that happen where I've had to go somewhere to Miami, for business, and it would be in the 90s. And then as soon as I make that trek over a certain street, which is like the cross lane over into Broward County or closer to where I live, I can immediately feel the temperature just change. It boggles the mind. I know some people are going to say, that's not possible. You can't feel that. No. Okay. You go out there in the middle of July, and I dare you to travel all the way from Miami to Broward County, like Tamarac or Coral Springs, and you see if there's a difference in the temperature. Let's just see. So those are my 7 reasons why I personally will never move to Miami. And I've had friends who came from Connecticut and from other states and cities who have said they moved down here for the reason that they want a better lifestyle, they want a more healthier lifestyle. And then when they got here and they moved to Miami, they said it was nice for a while, but it's not exactly what they expected. It was very different. And I just don't want anyone else to have a bad experience, because Florida is a great place to live, especially South Florida. And even though Miami has some of its faults, it does have some of its benefits as well. I mean, you do have the beach, you do have, a very nice lifestyle, and they do have a lot of different events that go on all the time. But please don't think that Miami is representative of all of South Florida. It is not. It is only a small portion in the bucket of it. Now, if you agree with some of the reasons why I said I will never move to Miami, then you might want to consider maybe Western Broward County or even Western Palm Beach County. And the cities in Western Broward County range from Coral Springs, Tamarac, Plantation, Davie. There's lots of them all over. And believe it or not, they're not that far from the beach, meaning you can travel to the beach. It may take a little longer. It won't be within like maybe 10 minutes from the beach if you were in Miami, and it may be 30 minutes, but it's still a great place to live. So check out some of my other videos that I have here too. I'll catch you next time.